Hey, what's up?
Hey, how's it going?
Oh, my mic was up. Alright, so first off, do you mind if I record this? A scheduling
Yeah.
session.
Yeah,
Alright,
fine.
cool. Okay, so let's see. You said you want to go over the Jax matchup, or like as Jax, you want to know how to go up against Riven.
Yeah. So, yeah, I just kind of copy pasted from a couple days ago, but it's just kind of like so I recently hit Plat 5, and when I made Jack's top lane, and like I feel like I'm not really like I feel like to climb further I should be dominating the lane harder. Like I kind of just go like even. And like I don't think I'm recognizing when to be aggressive and not aggressive, and Riven is like a really common champion I face, so I feel like if I can, like, since like you play a lot of Riven, I feel like if I can master that matchup, it'll be just good. So that's what I wanted to get out of this.
Yep. So yeah, let's hop into a custom game. We can start going over it.
Okay, cool.
Let's see. Alright, we could go over runes and masteries, but I'm not much of a Jax player. I'd assume your runes should be like 80 carry runes.
Yeah.
Do you want me to check your masteries, or do you think you're fine with that?
Yeah, we can talk about the masters really fast. Like, there's like two setups that I usually do against top laners.
Okay.
Let's see. So usually against Riven, I'm gonna fight her a lot early. So in the resolve on like the very right, I usually get the unyielding for the armor, and then I get the veteran scars for the health, and then I go the fearless. Like, I don't do the regen. I do like more of like the early game, like the early health and like the early armor and MR. But that's like I pretty much have everything else down.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't. Okay. I can change it right now, like on my setup, but yeah.
Yeah, this looks fine. With Riven, you may want to go. No, I think Battle Trance is fine. You could consider Bounty Hunter if you just want to play the lane passive. I think Battle Trance is fine.
Wait, let's see. Wait, is that on the very left? Is that on?
Yeah, it's Ferocity.
Oh, so you're saying, what did you suggest I change?
I would consider going Bounty Hunter sometimes over Battle Trance, just because if you're gonna play a lane super passive and just farm up, focus on farming and getting strong into the late game, and then once you get into the late game, you start getting kills on champs. That'll be a lot more useful in the late game. That scales really well into the late game.
I see. So the Bounty Hunter, just to confirm, so like it maxes out at 5%. Like if I've killed every single. Okay. I got. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
But Battle Trance, that's really nice for early to mid game. So just straight up gives you 3%. Whereas with Bounty Hunter, you start off with 0%, obviously, and then once you get one kill, then you get one, and all the way up to 5%.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, that's fine.
Sounds good.
You could also go Fresh Blood. I'm not sure what the reason for going Feast would be on Jax.
I tend to, so like, yeah, on this mastery page, I tend to change it. I change it like every time based on what I'm versing in top lane and how I feel like playing. So like Feast is like if I'm just like looking to like sustain and stuff. But yeah, if I'm gonna fight Riven early, I would go Fresh Blood. That's what I would do.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Okay. Sounds good.
Alright, so let's start the game.
Okay.
So, for the most part, early you want to play really passive against Riven. What you want to be looking for is just like the main thing you want to be looking for is cooldowns. Whenever she uses an ability, like if she uses her Q to farm or she uses her W to farm, then while that ability is down, you want to punish her for that.
Okay.
And something as well, like levels 1 through, well, 1 and 2, you win fights against her.
Okay.
Because she usually doesn't have enough, like, I guess it kind of depends on how the Riven plays it, but they won't have enough mobility to get away from you, level 1, and possibly level 2, but 3 onwards, she does really good against you. So you kind of just want to look for her just leisurely using abilities and take advantage of that.
Okay. So yeah, another question I have a lot, and this like applies to Riven, but just in general, like should I be slow pushing the lane or like what's more advantageous? Because like I've played the lane like both ways, where I like let them push into me, but then I fall behind, and like slowly in CS, or like I could like be on the offense and push the lane slightly, but then the jungler comes to gank me. Like it's like, and then I fall behind. Like it's like this weird. Do you know what I mean? Like.
Yeah. So, like I said early, you have this advantage. Like, it's probably more. I think level 2 Riven has a slight advantage depending on how she plays it. So it's probably more level 1. But you want to play it. You want to play aggressive during those times, and the jungler is probably not going to be top unless you know he started top. So you can play really aggressive there for the most part without getting punished for it. And then after, you know, once she gets level 2, level 3, then you start to play passive, let it push into you. Okay. And, you know, by that time, jungler is going to be coming top, and there won't be too much for him to do. Okay. In general, for the most part, you want to always freeze. And especially in this matchup, like, once again, you don't want to be pushing early, because if you're still pushed up past the 240 mark when the jungler gets top, then you're going to get denied CS, and you're going to get denied XP, and you might even die. So you want to always freeze the lane, but play aggressive early and punish Riven for not being able to outdamage you early.
Yeah, because what I noticed is like when I play aggressive early, I tend to push the lane, because like if my E hits the minions and like I get minion aggro, like the lane will naturally push into like this awkward spot. So like by 240, I'm like in this bad position. That's like my experience.
Yeah, what you can do when that happens, I'll show you when the lanes meet.
Okay.
It's a cool little trick that pretty much you attack the enemy champion. Or sorry, you let the enemy champion attack you, and they generate aggro, which forces the lane to push into you. So stand right there, and I'm just gonna go auto you.
Okay. So
watch, your minions are gonna aggro me, and now my minions are gonna push because they're doing damage to your minions while your minions are chasing me. So this lane's not gonna push in your favor.
Wait,
so you can.
So was that good for me or bad for me? Like.
That's good for you, because now you can free farm, and you know, once again, it's pushing into you. So. If the jungler comes up top, then you're relatively safe.
Oh, I see. So then I just let you auto me, basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't take a lot of free damage, and this is mainly only good early, but yeah, it helps push the lane, and this is really nice for like range matchups. This is how I play versus like Vayne or Quinn, anyone like that. I'll let them auto me in that wave, force it to push, and then just sit back and sustain for a while.
I see. Yeah. So then, like this is like a really good position for me right now, right? Like,
yeah. Because now the jungler is top. I'm overextended, so your jungler is probably gonna come and gank me, and I guarantee that my jungler is not gonna be up here because there's nothing for him to do. So you're in an advantageous position right now.
I see.
And you actually have an XP advantage as well, I believe, or maybe I do. Yeah, I do. Okay.
Yeah.
That's something you want to pay attention to as well. Pay attention to XP. If you can get, obviously, like, cheesing's really good. If you can get a level advantage, then use that against Riven. But vice versa as well. Make sure you're paying attention to Riven's levels, because you don't want to get cheesed by her.
So right now, like, at Riven, like you win the trades, right?
Yes.
Like, at level 3. So like I just give up that CS. Right
yeah, you shouldn't be afraid of giving up CS at this point, because if you E right now, I QW auto and then EQ out. So I pretty much get a lot of free damage off and escape at the same time.
So you use your ability there. Like, should I even have done that? Right,
yeah.
right here?
Yeah, that was good. Look, you won the trade.
Okay, because like another problem I have versus Riven is that I run out of mana. Like, see, like I'm already at like half mana, and it's like you can just keep spamming. So like,
Well, yeah. You wanna usually you wanna teleport pre-6, so it's fine if you're like, as long as you have mana around level 5, level 6, you're fine. Or yeah, as long as you can like use abilities before then.
did I take
Because
damage there? Like, 'cause I was trying to like freeze the wave, like to slow push back to you. Like, is that like, should I just let it hit the tower or like?
I usually let it hit the tower, just because I'm comfortable with farming under tower, and you don't take a lot for your ass.
Okay.
That's up to you though. If you're not comfortable doing that, then it's better to just freeze it outside tower range. Oh, what was I gonna say? Completely forgot what I was gonna say.
Okay, so like that was like really bad there, right? Like where you use like your
Yeah.
like.
You don't want to trade back. Just go in, harass me, and then back off while my abilities are down. Because once I get my abilities are up again, I'm gonna beat you in another trade.
I see.
And you pretty much just keep doing this till like level 6.
Sorry, what?
I said you pretty much want to keep doing this till level 6, and then you'll start to outscale me as long as you don't give up any deaths.
Okay. So like when exactly? So like when exactly does like Jax beat Riven and like Riven beat Jax? So like my understanding is like level 3 when you get your ability you beat me. Like then when do I like come back?
Yeah, I want to say like level 6, but it might not be there. I know for a fact it's somewhere around there. It might be level 7, might be level 8, but somewhere around there. If you don't give up any kills, if it's an even lane, then you're gonna have a advantage.
I see. So like level, why exactly level 8? Like, or is it just like
a? It might be an item thing. I'm not too familiar with Jax, so I'm not 100% sure of when it is. I just know it's somewhere between like level 6, level 9, somewhere like that.
I see. So like against Riven, should I just rush Triforce, or like is there anything in particular I should?
I would say just build Triforce. Because you're just gonna be farming up a lot, so it's not like and this goes again with your power spike. Like you don't want to rush trades because you're not gonna win fights early. So you don't want to build a cheap item because you won't be utilizing it. Like if you get, I don't know, I'm not sure what Jax builds that's cheap. Yeah, if you get like Doran's Blade or something, or get like 2 Doran's Blades, you're not gonna be utilizing them. So there's no point in getting them. You're not gonna be trading a lot with me just because I win trades. So it's better to go that Triforce and wait until you scale, wait till you have the enough farm to get that, and then use that power spike to your advantage.
I see. So like, okay, like let's say like the lane goes like this, right, in like a solo queue game, and like the thing is though, is that like, let's say like my team is feeding right now, like should my mindset just be I'm just gonna keep farming and like hope we do better later, or like, cause like I get the feeling that like I need to like just destroy you now or else,
yeah,
you know, like otherwise the game is just gonna be over.
Don't feel like that. Something to keep in mind is that pre-level 6 you always want to use your teleport. And this is just for components, but also it sets you up so you have it later on for TP ganks in the bot lane. So post level 6, huh?
Wait, so like you mean like, let's say like I lose a trade early, like I should just like be right now and then teleport back in with an item?
Yeah, if you don't have any potions or anything like that, it's better to just back, get a component advantage in lane, and you either kill Riven, force her to back and use her TP, or you force her to back and use her TP.
I see.
And you pretty much just want to do that to help you sustain the lane early and then scale into the late game.
I see. So like, what was I gonna say? So like in order to like win games and stuff, like I don't need to like just like destroy you early or anything. Like,
no.
I just need to.
So, like I said, pre-6 you always want to use your TP for lane, just so you can continue farming and continue like keeping an XP lead and stuff. Whereas if you saved your TP to teleport bot lane or something like that, you'd have to walk back to lane and you'd lose minions, you'd lose XP and gold and stuff like that. So you want to use your first TP pre-6 on your lane. Then after that, look to TP around the map to make plays. Or if you push the lane up, if you push the lane into me and I'm farming under tower, then look to get a roam off on maybe mid lane or something like that. So that way, while you're like still winning your lane, you can also impact other laners as well.
So in that case, if I'm gonna use my TP early, like I've seen it like done both ways, where like oh, you can't like see my ping, but like right around like where I'm standing right here, like the wave is right here, like the way I like I ended up playing this lane was like I let you auto me and then the wave came to me, but like let's say like the wave is right here and I back, should I TP back in or like should I just like walk back? You know what I mean?
When the wave's right here, if it's really early, you should just TP back. If the wave's right in front of tower, TP back, force the minions into my tower so you deny me CS, like hard push it into my tower, and then look around from there.
I see.
And yeah, that's just so, once again, we don't, like, if you let it freeze here and you walk the lane, you're gonna lose like 5 or 6 minions, and now I have an XP lead, and, you know, even though it's level 8, I'll have an advantage in the lane.
Should I like be looking to fight you here, or like let the wave come to me and like just be passive still? Like, is this like a point where I can like fight you?
I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure, Vajax. Okay, yeah, looks like it. Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah.
Nice.
So basically, against Riven, like just chill out. Like.
Yeah. Yeah, you just want to farm up, wait for your Pyro Spike, level 6 through 8. And the reason it's around that time is mainly because your ult's super strong. It gives you resistances, gives you damage, and then on top of that, like the passive, that does the additional, I don't know what it is, where it does like the magic damage on hit or whatever it does. Like that's really strong as well. So you get this massive boost from getting level 6, and then on top of that, if you like finish an early component, it's even bigger. So you're even stronger. So your main objective is just to farm up for that component, farm up to level 6 till you get that advantage, and then abuse that, having that lead.
So let's say I get an early kill like that. Do you think Riven, like, oh, I'm dead here, or I'm like, this is like I just like stayed there because we're talking, but like,
yeah.
So like, does Riven, like, if I get one early kill on Riven, like, does Riven ever come back? Or, like, late game, do I just beat Riven 1%? Like, because I've heard, like, mixed things.
It's... Late game, you should, honestly, like, it should be pretty easy for you to beat Riven, but... Riven has a lot of outplay potential in her kit, so if she does outplay you, if she dodges your E, or, I don't know, like, dodges 2 or 3 E's, maybe, then she could probably kill you. But for the most part, you should do really well against her.
I see.
Like, sorry, what were you saying?
Oh yeah, keep going. I was just gonna say something.
Oh, I faced this Jax, like, yesterday, I think, and I had this massive lead on him. I had, like, 2 or 3 kills on him. And, it was, like, 20 minutes in, and we were bot lane, and he just destroyed me in a trade, straight up.
Oh, what the hell?
Yeah. So, you outscale Riven really well, like, even if you lose lane. But you want to wait for that item, that component advantage. And if you don't give up kills early, it's really important that you don't do that, just because it makes the lane even easier for you. Because now, like, guaranteed by level 8, like, 100% you're going to start winning trades. Whereas if you give up a kill, like, now I get an item, and it might delay it. Now instead of level 8, it might be level 9. And instead of having a lead in your lane and being able to roam, now you're sitting under tower and, you know, me and my jungler are diving you or something. So it's really important that you don't give up kills early as Jax, just so you can, you know, win your lane and impact other laners.
I see. Yeah, because I've never been totally sure, like what I should be doing. Like, oh crap, I'm dead.
Yeah.
Rest in peace. But hang on, can I think can we like restart the custom, because I feel like by this level it's like pretty...
So you have any more questions or anything?
Yeah, hang on, let me just give me a second to think a little bit. I go ahead and thanks. Why do you why do you think? Because like I feel like Riven is like super common. Like why do you think? Like is it because she's just like fun or?
That's a good question. I'm not too sure, to be honest. I mean, when I first started playing her, I thought she was a lot of fun. I've kind of gotten a little burnt out on her. Like, I only play her so I can win and rank pretty much at this point. But, yeah, the reason I started playing her is just because she's super snowbally. Like, that's why I think that's why Riven and Yasuo and people like that are really popular. Is because they can make or break a game, and when they get ahead, like, they can 1v5. Whereas there's a lot of other champs where, you know, they can do well with a lead, but they're probably not in a position of 1v5 just because of how their kit's built.
You think Jax is like can like 1v5? Because I feel like Jax like cannot 1v5 as well as Riven can.
No. Just because his E is really strong, but at the same time, it's limited to like 2 targets, pretty much. And that would cause trouble for you in fights. That isn't to say you can't 1v5, it's just so much harder on Jax than it is for Riven.
I see. Yeah, because like Riven with a lot of CER, I feel like she just has like this massive shield like every 5 seconds. It's like
yeah. Not only does she have like a massive shield, but her ult actually increases the range of all her abilities. So her stun can now like stun like 4 people after she ults. So it just makes it really easy to you know 1v5. Get like when everyone's grouped up, it makes it easy to stun them and just combo on them.
Mhm. So like in like Platinum Elo, should I be looking to like split push or should I like group more or like what do you think is like what would you do on Riven and what do you think you would do on Jax, I guess?
Riven and Jax are pretty much the same on how you want to play them. I mean, Jax, when you think of Jax, you think of a split pushing champion, but you don't necessarily have to do that. Like, he's not restricted to split pushing. So pretty much, if you get a lead early and your team is ahead, then you want to focus on grouping. Like, get your team to group as soon as possible and try to make work of your advantage. Like you guys know you're stronger. You guys know you can win against your laners. So if you place yourselves in a 5v5 scenario, you're more than likely to win. And then from there, obviously, you can get objectives, you can get towers and stuff like that. So when you have a lead and your team's ahead, you want to group as soon as possible and use that lead. And when you're ahead and your team's behind, you want to win your lane and then use the pressure on the map, like on your lane, I guess, to help other lanes snowball. So like if you get my tower top, for example, instead of just hard pressing my second tower, what you could do is, while the lane's pushed up, go roam mid and help mid win his lane. And even if you don't get a kill, like, you can get a tower. You can help get a tower with the man advantage. And now your mid laner has enough gold to duel their opponent. Or you help bot lane with the gold and now they can duel their opponents. So when you're ahead and your team's behind, you mainly want to work around the easiest objectives. And help generate gold for your team. And finally, if it's like late game and you're ahead and your team's really far behind, you just want to split push. Just split push, tell your team to play passive, and team fight if need be. Like if your team starts a fight, then you want to be there, just so you can, you know, impact the fight. Like if you can win it with you being there, then do that. Nice. Yeah, I think that's about it. I think there was one more scenario.
Yeah, what I noticed in my I like go back into like the games I lose and like I try to figure out like how I could have won it. What I noticed is like I'm not paying attention to like what my teammates are doing enough. if that does that kind of like make sense? Like,
Yeah.
I'll be like, oh, the plan is really simple. I'm gonna push top, we're gonna group mid, and then we're gonna win a fight and then take Baron. But then like I'm not paying enough attention to notice like, oh, my Evelyn already went in. I should have grouped faster. If that makes any sense.
Yeah. So as a top laner, it's really important that you're paying attention to what's going on the map. First of all, so like scenarios like for me, for example, as a Riven player, if I want to engage, obviously I want to know where my teammates are at the time, because otherwise I'm jumping into like a 1v5. And even if they're only like 10 feet away, for 10 feet, it's a 1v5 and the enemy team has an advantage. Whereas, you know, I'd rather wait for my team to be there so we can all fight as, you know, together. So you want to be paying attention to what's going on the map in that regard, but also for TP plays early. Like, bot lane TP plays are really big, because obviously, like, bot lane's 2 people. So when they have an advantage, it's really unlikely that they're going to throw it. And also, when they have an advantage, it makes it, like, really easy to win team fights.
I see.
By the way, a tip on your pots, you want to use your pots early. Just because, like, right now, if we fought, you wouldn't have the advantage that your pots give you. How much health do they give you? They give you 125 health over 10 seconds. So if we fought right now, I would probably kill you, and you'd still have like 30 HP remaining on your potion that wasn't utilized. So whenever you're missing like 100 health, you usually want to use that.
Yeah, like that, like the position. I mean, I would just like, it's like hard for me to like maintain a complete coherent conversation while like playing the lane seriously, but like
that's fine.
Well, yeah, that's like a position that I like maybe like a minute and a half ago, like the wave was like down there, and like the that's like a position that like it might like really sucks. So like the jungler can come, and then I blow Plat or something, and then he comes again.
Yeah. So something to keep in mind is that whenever you push past the halfway point, you want to ward. And
yeah, so I ward, but like usually what happens is like they'll come anyway, and then I have to blow a summoner, and then like in that situation, is that what you're talking about, where like I use TP, or like, you know what I mean, like, cause like that's like a really awkward in between spot where
yeah, because if you TP back to lane, you're in a bad situation, because you could get ganked again.
Yeah, like.
Yeah, unfortunately, it probably is something you have to do, just so you don't get really far behind in lane. If you have to miss a wave or two, so like to get the jungler to back off and stop pressuring you, then do so. But try and get some wards off as soon as you get back to lane. Like, go to Tribush, ward up. And if he sits top, then obviously your jungler can do stuff around the map. Whereas, if he realizes that there's nothing to do and he backs off, it lets you, you know, do stuff in your lane once again. And whenever it's at that point, whenever the lane's frozen there, you want to hard push it so it goes into their tower and they're not able to freeze it in that bad position for you.
Question, like, in the moment, how come like you don't fight me there, because you have like a level advantage? Like.
Oh, I probably could have. I just wasn't paying attention, to be honest.
Oh, I see. Okay, just checking, because like.
Yeah.
I wanted to.
Yeah, you have to be really careful about ulting on Jax.
Oh fuck.
Cause if you, like, I'm sure you know this as a Jax player, but if you ult early, people can just like wait it out. Like, a lot of good players will just like run away, and then whenever you come back, whenever you're like back in lane, now they can fight you because they have an ult advantage. You have to be very careful about using your ult early.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen you do that yet, but in case you
so,
weren't thinking about that.
I guess like my next question is like, what would you say that like what do you think separates like platinum top laner from diamond top laner? And then like I'm just curious what your opinion is. Like, what's the difference between like gold and plat top laners? Like, I feel like I know the difference between gold and plat, but I'm like curious on like your second opinion. Oh
yeah, I know for a fact the difference between gold and plat top laners is just like trading in lane. Because if I was up against a gold top laner, I would absolutely destroy them. And same with a plat laner. Like, I would do really well against a plat laner, but it wouldn't be as much as a gold laner. Because obviously plat laners are better, and a lot of them know how to trade a lot better in plat elo. there's still a lot for you to work on. Like, I think the biggest thing is don't get frustrated, because I see that a lot of plat players, like, I don't know, I might, like, when I was in plat, I would, like, freeze a lane, and it'd be super disadvantageous for them to come up and push the lane, but because they're frustrated, because they want CS, they go and push the lane, and then I continue freezing and get a level advantage. So I think one big thing with plat players that separates them and diamond players when it comes to laning is just being patient and yeah, I think that's about it. Pretty much being patient. I mean, there's a slight difference in mechanics and a slight difference in laning, I guess, and just like taking advantage of cooldowns and stuff like that. But I think the biggest thing is just patience.
Were you gonna say something?
No.
Okay, yeah, because I feel like the biggest difference for me was like I was like hard stuck in gold for like a long time until I like learned like when to group and like when to split push, if that makes sense. Like,
Yep.
Like I was like one of those players who would just like split push non-stop, but then once I started like grouping in the correct scenarios, like I would like win more and then.
Yeah, actually, at the very beginning of the season, I had a really very like extremely extremely bad ego problem, and I was actually hard stuck in gold because I would sit there, I would dominate my laner, and then I would continue to split push, just over and over, just continue to split push, and I'd try to tell everyone what to do, and it was really bad. So it's really important that you know the difference between when you should group and when you should split push. And pretty much that just comes down to how your team's doing for the most part. Yeah. Like if your team's doing really good, then you want to group, obviously. If not, then split pushing's better.
So would you say like in my position, if I want to like improve and like work through platinum, should I like go back to my laning and like really just focus on like every little thing, or like should I be focusing like on that same exact macro where it's like?
No, I don't think that macro by itself is gonna like improve your play significantly. I don't know, like, I think just practicing respect's, like, a really big thing in Plat. Because, like I said, a lot of people get impatient. Like, I'll have a level lead on someone and they'll try to fight me just because. Or, I don't know, like, if I'm in a scenario where I'm freezing, like, if I'm ahead, and you're, let's say, I don't know what's a good example. It's really hard to do this without, like, a diagram or something. But pretty much if I'm freezing and I have a lead in lane, I see a lot, and this happens a lot because I always freeze. Like there's usually, in every game there's always really good scenarios for each freeze, so you should be freezing a lot throughout your games. But in Plat, like I would freeze and people would be really far behind, and once again because they're not patient, like because they want CS and stuff like that, they would start auto-attacking minions, and now I get to just freeze longer. I get to deny them XP longer, and also I can get free damage off on them because they go for minions. So, I see. Like, it's super important. I can't stress that enough, that in Plat, you're not really getting impatient for, like, minion waves and stuff. And another big thing is, when it comes to late game, and even sometimes early game, don't be afraid to give up objectives. Like, if you have to give up an inhibitor, or, let's say, you're in, I don't know, like the enemy jungler comes top and they're looking to dive you. Like the difference between a Plat player and a diamond player is a Plat player will think, oh well, you know, they're tower diving, so I can probably outplay them, right? But a diamond player will just give up the tower because their death, like if they die, they're gonna, I don't know, like they get punished even harder. They give up more gold. They give up, like. They pretty much throw their lane in the trash, and now the jungler can continue putting pressure on them and stuff like that. Whereas, if you give up the tower, like you're kind of behind in lane, but you're not so far behind that you're useless in fights, and they're like the jungler wants to camp your lane and stuff like that.
I see.
So patience is just really important.
I see. Like what I notice happens though. So like around like what levels would you say is like the ideal time to freeze? Because what I noticed is like when there's like how do I say this? There's like two playstyles that like I'm like trying to figure out which one's better. Like sometimes what I find is like if I just rush a Tiamat and just shove the guy in all day, like he just starts missing CS in their tower, and I just keep warding their jungle, and then like basically I'm like avoid fighting them ever while they fall behind in CS, and I just like steal jungle camps. And then the other way is to like freeze outside a tower. But whenever I try to freeze, usually what happens is like they can shove me all the way in, and then like you know like then I'm the one who's like losing CS because I have to farm under tower.
Yeah. It's really important. Like you kind of have to regulate how much you're freezing, because like freezing with the big waves puts you at like really really big disadvantages. First of all, obviously, like if they hard push it in the tower, you're gonna lose a lot of CS. But also, if the enemy jungler comes, like it just puts them in a really good situation to tower dive you, because now he can get really close to you without having to use abilities to like gap close or anything like that. And now he has more abilities to use on you as you try to escape or whatever it is. So you kind of just want to regulate your freeze. Like I always just make sure that like the most I'll keep it at is like a 2 minion advantage. And that's it, because with 2 minions most of the time, like maybe it's like 3 or 4 depending on how the health of the minions. But for the most part, with 2 minions, the lane's gonna push, and it's not gonna be like hard enough to whereas you're getting shoved into tower and you can't farm or anything like that.
I see. So like if I see like the enemy like hard pushing, I just like match their hard push but like slightly less, and then like they have more minions still.
Yeah.
Like...
Yep. And that way you can freeze the lane, but you also like once again you don't get hard, like you're not farming under tower and you're not missing a lot of minions or anything like that if he does push it in.
I see, cause like, what I've kind of come up with, and like you can like tell me if this is right or wrong, is like, if like early on, I feel like it's more advantageous to like to push the opponent, like and then back and get an item and then try to freeze, as opposed to like freezing at like level 2 or 3, cause like I feel like at those levels they can still like it's too hard for me to defend against the freeze.
Yeah, so you, I mean you can freeze when you're behind as well, but once again like you can't really defend against it. It's good, like freezing's really good early game just because minions have such a big impact on the lane. Like you always want to play around minions early, because if you set up a freeze and the enemy tries to push at like level 3, you can literally just sit in the minion wave and duel him. And if you have more minions, then he's gonna lose the trade 100%.
Wait,
just because the minions do so much damage.
Freezing, he's gonna have more minions, right? Like, cause
yeah, sorry, yeah, never mind.
Like,
yeah, that doesn't make
because,
sense.
Like,
yeah,
because I've been in like a situation where I'm the one pushing, I'm like on the aggressive, I'm level 3, they're level 2, but I have this huge minion wave. Because that like I'm level 3 because of I killed more of his minions. Then their jungler comes and like I can kill their jungler because like I'm sitting in the minion wave. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
I would only recommend doing that just against matchups that pretty much matchups that there's not too much harass that they can do to you, but also matchups that aren't too snowbally. With Jax, once again, we don't want to be taking a lot of risk because we want to be able to finish our item early and hit that power spike. So if you're pushing someone that's kind of risky, like someone that you don't know you could, like that, if they have a potential to outtrade you, then it's kind of disadvantageous to you, because if you accidentally mess up and he takes advantage of that, now he has control of the lane. So I would only recommend like hard pushing if you know for a fact you have some kind of advantage early, or like other than that, just like pushing into tower to deny them CS. That's about it.
I see. So you would recommend like playstyle wise to just like let them hit me once so it freezes for me, like so then like it pushes towards me, and then just farm up to an item. Like there's no need for me to like make any risks, and then
and once again, don't be afraid to like give up CS and stuff, because that means, you know, you're not taking damage and you can sit in lane longer and get even more CS. Whereas if
Yeah,
you
because
went for that one minion, lost like 50 health, and you continue doing that, you're gonna lose like 7 or 8 minions because you have to recall and get your health back.
I see. Yeah, because like the reason why I'm like so conflicted on this is because like I'll like to learn, I'll go on YouTube and like watch like highly low Korean Jax players and like see how they play like every matchup, and like the way they play is just like non-stop, like if like level 1 like non-stop hopping on Riven like with their Q, and it's just like crazy aggressive. Like
yeah, level 1 that's fine, but like level 2, I don't know.
Yeah,
That's
like,
actually really interesting now that I think of that.
Yeah, because like what happens is that this guy is playing so aggressive
That
like
he gets the
even
XP
when
lead.
Riven hits his power spike level 3, he's like, oh, I don't care because you have like 20% HP. You know what I mean? So it's like
yeah, I like you should probably play aggressive early against Riven specifically, just because once again like you have that advantage early, like you're gonna do really well against her early. And also it gives you an XP lead because you're gonna be pushing constantly, and it's gonna be, you know, she's gonna have minions built up, so you can take advantage of the XP lead to get even more free damage off on her, and just continue doing that to deny her CS, and eventually if you can lure her down enough to kill her, then you have a big advantage in line, and you snowball even faster. So I guess with Riven it'd be like really nice to push early,
but that's like unnecessary to like win games in Platinum though, right? Like I'm trying to identify like the
no
thing to work on, and it seems to be like just like patience and farming up. Like
rotations are like, macro is super important, but don't think that micro is not important just because it's so like exact. Because like micro is one of the big things that's, you know, it's one of the big differences between a diamond and plat player. A lot of plat players will just ignore it because they think it's useless, or like it's not even worth doing it because it doesn't make that much of a difference. And
wait, what do you mean by wait, which one doesn't make much of a difference?
I just in general, like, I don't know if it's like what I taught you about making the wave push into you. Like, obviously a lot of plat players don't do that because they don't, well, first of all, they don't know it, but there's even some plat players that will know it and decide not to do it just because they feel like it won't impact them very much. And like, while macro does impact the game a lot and micro's like not as important, obviously the higher up we go, the more important micro becomes. For example, for me, like for Riven, if I were to go in bronze and silver elo, I would destroy people without having to do animation cancels. Just because, like, I know how to, I can do wave control, wave management, stuff like that, and I can get leads other than having to duel and stuff like that. Whereas in Diamond, people know how to play the game, obviously, so duels are a lot closer, so micro's even more important.
I see. Because what I noticed, yeah, if I play in bronze or silver as Jax, like what I would do is I would just play so aggressively that basically I just play aggressive like non-stop, and then they just like pussy out and like don't fight me, and then like they let me freeze. They don't even know I'm freezing, but like, you know. So
yeah.
I would just because like I was just curious like from your perspective like what plat players are like mistakes they're making, because for me right now what's going on is we'll just go even, and it's like I feel like, all right, well I went even, and I'm like not like, I feel like I need to like win the lane to like consistently win, you know?
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to win lane, like you can do that just with rotations, but winning lane makes it so much easier, and you can win games a lot more consistently as long as you can just win your lane. But like I said, something like with Riven, you can push early on Riven, but the thing is that if you make a mistake, like if you make a big mistake, then you just put yourself at a really big disadvantage. You have to be really careful about making these aggressive plays, because if you misplay and you get behind because of that, now you're going to be behind for your power spike, and it gives Riven an even bigger opportunity to like group up with her team and take advantage of you being weak. So
I see.
Pushing, like playing aggressive's fine early, but understand that there is a point where like you should be playing passive. Like you don't always need to. It's something that's dynamic. You shouldn't always play aggressive or always play passive. Just figure out what's kind of like the Goldilocks, I guess, of doing that. Like figure out when you like because sometimes being aggressive is better because you can deny them farm and you can get an XP lead, but sometimes being passive is better because I don't know, you're not taking free harass, or you've lost your power spike and they have an advantage, so if you play aggressive they're gonna punish you for that. So you kind of just need to find the balance between the two. I can't really tell you like exactly what to do when unless you have a scenario for it, just because like I said, like it's a dynamic thing.
So it seems like for now, like basically like I have like this list of like things that I'm like considering working on, but I just wanted to know like you know, like what your opinion would be, like what are like the most important things to focus on, because like there's a lot of things, right? Like I could like say, okay, my laning's crap and I'm just gonna focus entirely on like laning better, you know what I mean, like focus on improving one thing at a time.
Yeah.
So but it seems like right now like I should just be focusing on like the small, like the smaller, the micro things in the laning phase. Like, is that correct, or like?
Yeah. So the big thing that I think you need to work on is map awareness, because you obviously want to make TP plays, and like that helps you out when it comes to team fighting and stuff like that, just knowing where your team's at. So that's something you need to work on. And micro as well. Let's see what else is there. I kind of went over objectives and stuff like that. Do you want me to like? I think maybe back like recall timing might be important for you, like knowing when to back. For that, I just say usually you want to back when you can get a component. So like 800 to 1500 gold, you want to recall just so you can refresh your health and get a component to give yourself an advantage. So usually, like in lane, something that I don't see a lot of Plat players doing is just recalling a lot. Like, obviously spamming it too much is bad when you don't have gold, because you're not going to get anything when you back. But when you have enough gold to get a component, you hard push into the enemy's tower, recall, buy your component, get back into lane, and if they don't do the same exact thing as you, then you have an advantage in lane. So that's something else that might help you.
Let's say I'm like in the reverse scenario where Riven just hard pushed me into lane. I know she's gonna back, but I'm like too busy farming the minion she pushed into me. Like, what should I do? I should just like back immediately after farming the wave. Like, because you're gonna hard push. So like, if I make the mistake of sticking around for pushing the next wave, then you're gonna freeze on me, and then now I'm in a weird. That's exactly what's gonna happen, right? Like, you know, you kind of understand the scenario I'm saying.
No, I'm trying really hard to picture this, and I can't quite get a picture of what you're trying to say.
Okay, yeah. So like, you hard push into me, and then you back immediately.
Yep.
Okay. Now I have to spend like 8 seconds to farm those minions, and then I back.
Mm-hmm.
I should back right there, because usually what I do is I push the next wave in, and by the time I'm like halfway through pushing the next wave, you've come back. Yeah. So you want to force the lane to reset. So if she decides to freeze or decides to push, like you might lose a minion or two, but you won't lose much, if at all. Whereas if you stay and you push the next wave and try to push it into her tower, now you're gonna lose CS just because you overstayed and you're forced to recall while she's in lane. So now she has more time to push the wave in and punish you for overstaying like that. I see. So it's like literally these like these like these lane and wave manipulation techniques. That's like it's like literally these little things. That's it. Like, what the heck?
Yeah, I think that's about it, and like I said, map awareness as well.
Yeah, it makes me romantic. I'm like focusing so much on this, but the only reason why is because after this, like you know, I like watch my replays. Like if I lose a game and I think we could have won it, I watch the replay. The problem is in like that 40-minute game, there's like so much that goes on that I'm like, all right, where in the 40 minutes do I even like, you know what I mean? Like it's like way too many things to think about. So I'd rather just like ask someone, oh, what should I look at the most? And if you say, oh, just look at the laning phase, I'll be like, okay. I'm gonna like focus on the first 15 minutes and then I'll just think about the rest of the game, but not like rewatch a whole another 25 minutes, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it's good that you see that too, because you don't have to be a good player to be in Diamond. Honestly, I am so bad. I am honestly like so bad, and I'm in Diamond. You don't have to be a perfect player to get in Diamond, and same with Challenger. Like, there are no perfect players in Challenger. If you watch Faker, he feeds he feeds really often. It's just something that happens to all of us. Like, everyone makes mistakes, so you don't have to be a perfect player to climb. Like, it's okay to make mistakes, but at the same time, you shouldn't you should be trying to reduce the amount of times that you make mistakes.
I see. So like, when you say like, oh, you're bad, like, what do you think like that you need to be working on then? Like what's like, because like if you have like more of these basic like wave manipulation fundamental things down, then like what are like things that like people in Diamond like need to work on? Like what caused you to say like, well, I'm so bad? Because what's funny is like, I mean, this is like my first season playing, but like my friend goes, dude, like you're Plat and you played like 600 games of Jax. You must be like a master of Jax. And like my response is like, no, I'm actually feel like I'm a beginner at Jax. Like it's stupid after 600 games. Like yeah. I seriously do. I feel like I have like a loose understanding of matchups, which is why like I'm asking about the Riven matchup. But like
yeah, honestly, like I love hearing that from you so much, because the difference between the high elo players and low elo players is that the higher you climb, the easier it is to realize like how bad you are at the game. Whereas like if you're like bronze and silver, you're like, oh my god, I'm a god, I'm hard stuck because my teammates and stuff like that. Whereas if you're in diamond, you're like, oh my god, I literally suck at this game. Or same with Plat, like in Plat too, like people are able to realize their mistakes. So that's a really nice quirk to have, I guess. So it's really nice that you're looking at your mistakes like that. I like that a lot. Wait, so what'd you ask me? I know I completely went off topic there.
Oh yeah, no, it's fine. No, the question was like, what is like stuff that you need to work on then? Because it's like, you know, like then what is there to work on after like these fundamental things? You know, I'm just like curious.
Right. So for me specifically, this might not be for all diamond players, but I know for a fact that, I know for a fact that. I don't know how to say this so it's not egotistical, but like, if I play against another D5 player, I know that I can win lane a majority of the time. Like, obviously, like, I can lose lane to D5 players too, but majority of the time I can lose lane, or sorry, win lane. My biggest issue is just closing out games, because a lot of times I'll get drunk off my power, and I'll make like stupid dive plays and stuff like that that just aren't necessary at all. Or instead of getting Baron, I'll go and chase someone for no reason at all, just because I want more kills or I want more power or whatever. So that's one of my big issues. And then also, I think I need to work on my TP plays a lot, because I know what to do when it comes to TP plays, but sometimes I just, like, I see an opportunity to TP and I don't think twice. And I make this big mistake, and literally as soon as I start TPing, I'm like, oh my god, I'm such an idiot. Like, why did I do that?
Oh, I see.
And sometimes as well, like, when I'm in lane, I'll get impatient. But it's not nearly as often as I used to at all.
I see. But, like, it seems like those are, like, mistakes that, like, I mean, even, like, when I was silver, I would, like, make that same mistake. So it's, like...
Yeah.
Seems like the same thing, but, like, less often, I guess, or like on a, I don't know, like I mean, I just played like a game in like low gold with my friend on like another account, and like for me it's like I'm like versing a Kled in top lane, and like I can't really kill him unless he makes a really big mistake, but like I can tell, like, because I've spent a lot of time in gold, like I was just stuck there for a long time, like I can like tell, like, oh, this guy is out of position, like, so like, do those like, it's just weird to me, like you know, like the higher up I go, I feel like, okay, everybody, assuming they're not boosted, has experienced the same things as me. Like, do they just like make these mistakes like 10% less, or like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, pretty much. Like, honestly, I don't think it's possible to just completely stop making a mistake unless it's something really, really simple. But even then, like you could say I won't, or like between diamonds and golds, which do you think would be more which do you think would make flash mistakes more often? Obviously golds, right? But the thing is, like
what?
fail flashes, like which do you think would make fail flashes more often? Diamonds or gold? And obviously golds is going to be the answer. But the thing is that diamond players and even challenger players still make like flash mistakes. The thing is though is that they make it less often. So if you don't make that flash mistake 90% of your games and it's what causes you to die or whatever, or lose your lead, then you're gonna climb 90 then you're gonna win 90% more games just because you know made that mistake less. So you don't have to be a perfect and I know I already said this, but you don't have to be a perfect player to climb. Just like figure out what your mistakes are and just try to improve on them.
A little cut off there, but well, yeah, another like I guess these aren't even really questions. These are just like observations because I'm trying to learn from like like higher level players like either on stream or like on a YouTube video, and I'll like watch what they do and like try to emulate it. But like so because I know you said, and I've heard this from someone else too, like focus on just like farming till your power spike and then just kill them basically like once you have that lead. But like I noticed that like in like these high level players like Jack's one tricks that I'll watch, like they just play aggressive like non-stop. And is it because like they're having fun, or is it because they know the champion so well that they can just get away with like being really reckless?
It's because it's exactly because of that, because they know the champion so well that they can get away with being reckless. Whereas like and this is something else I need to work on is like if I start playing, like the reason I told you to play passive is because if I tell you to play passive and aggressive off and on, like depending on the matchup, there will be times where you play too aggressive and you lose lane because of that. Whereas if you just play passive, like then you can get your item and majority of the games you should be fine. So like if you know your champion's limits and you make those mistakes less often, like overextending and giving up those position leads or whatever, or like giving up a health lead or whatever it is, then you can play more aggressive. But if not, then you should just stick to playing like passive for the most part, so you're not even in a scenario to make those mistakes.
I got it. Okay, that totally makes sense. Yeah, no, I really know what you mean, because like I've like tried a lot of different things like in gold, and like it's like because like if I just die once to a jungle gank, then it's like the lane just feels so different, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I walk back to lane, I'm like level 3.5, and like they're about to be level 5. Like the lane is just feels like gross. Like I don't feel like playing the lane anymore because it's not even at all. I see. So like so just to clarify, like basically what you're saying is like I don't need to focus even on like those champion limits and playing super aggressive, like just to climb in platinum. What you're saying is just like just chill out and farm, and like like right when they make like some dumb mistake going for a CS, punish them for 50 to 200 health, and then like they'll back up, and like I'll freeze, and I'll just slowly dominate them.
Just slowly. And I don't know what the exact quote is, but this is something from the Art of War. You don't have to necessarily like be stronger than your opponent to win. Like you can wait for them to make mistakes and then capitalize on that. So like you can win the mental game and still win wars and stuff like that, and still win fights and league. So
I see. No, that's reassuring to like know what to focus on, because like I said, I've like thought about like it's weird. Like yeah, I played like 600 games Jax, but like I still feel like a beginner at it, because it's like it's like as simple as like, do I play passive or aggressive? And it's like now I know, just wait for the power spike and then kill him basically after
and
that's cool.
And this is another thing, like the difference between Plat and Diamond players is judging when to get a kill as well. Like between me, like my old self, my Plat player self, and my Diamond player self, I'd play a lot safer just because I was scared to make mistakes. But while you should be like relatively safe, you shouldn't be afraid to capitalize on mistakes. So now me being a Diamond player, if I, even in like hard counter lanes, like in Quinn lanes versus me and stuff like that, I play passive, but when I see them make mistake, I'm not afraid to capitalize on that because I know I have some kind of advantage. Or like if they have below like 400 health, I'm not afraid to flash in on them and kill them. Whereas a lot of plat players are afraid to make plays just because they don't want to like lose the game. So while I am telling you to play passive, don't feel like you're like you should always play passive or that you shouldn't capitalize on mistakes because you know like you want to make sure that you take advantage of whatever disadvantage the enemy puts themselves at.
Yeah. So would you say like the best way to learn that is like by watching a lot of better players, or is that just comes with experience? Like, do I just need to like literally go into a make a play that I don't know if it's gonna work out and just like learn from that mistake, or if it works out, then I'm like, oh hey, that's like an all-in spot. Or like, what's like the best way to?
That's pretty debatable. Honestly, it might be better to watch streams, but if you've seen my ranked games, that should be kind of a telltale sign for you that I just play and try to get the experience and try to learn from that. So it's kind of just how you want to do it. Like, I'm not particularly afraid of losing games because that lets me know, like, when I reflect on that game, I can say, oh, I made that mistake. So if I slowly start improving on all these mistakes, then I can still climb. Whereas, I don't know, like, if I'm watching a stream, like, there's just so much stuff to take notes on, and I feel like I get distracted.
Yeah.
So.
When I was like gold 1 and I was like really approaching the platinum, like I was like really afraid to lose games. But now that I'm like plat 5, I feel like the problem with me is that like I went from gold 5 to gold 2 and then fell down like 3 times in a row, like, and then like I feel like if I had just asked someone sooner what do I need to work on, they would have told me, and I've been like, oh, that's what I work on, and then 600 games would have been like 350 games or something.
Yeah, and that's. Huh?
Sorry, what were you gonna say?
And that's exactly how I feel too. Like, I'm a coach now because I don't want people to feel like that. Like, it took me 3 or 4 years of experience to learn everything I need to. Whereas, like if I can help people shorten that time, if like people can come up to me and I can coach them and help them figure out, that's kind of a nice feeling.
Yeah.
Because it takes so long to get these things, unless you're like really observant on what's going on.
Yeah, because like this is like my first season playing. Like I started.
What? Wait.
Yeah,
what?
I started playing like December-ish, January. I got my account to level 20, and I was like starting to get bored. And then my friend gave me this account. He was like, just play rank. And then I got Heartstuck Silver, and then I got Gold with. I was playing Jack's jungle and it like sucked because the game would be over before I got like Triforce. Then I learned top lane, got gold, stuck in gold for like 400 games, and then now I'm plat. And now I've learned from being stuck for so long that I should just ask someone immediately. Like,
yeah. Yeah. Jesus, that is actually like insane. Congrats, dude.
Thanks. Yeah.
Because like,
sorry, what?
Because, like, I've been playing for, let's see, I started playing in 2012, I think. So I've been playing for 5 years, and I just got diamonds, like, 2 months ago. Or, like, a month ago, so yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I only play one I play Jax, and like, I'm trying to pick up Nunu jungle. I know it's, like, really different from Jax, but I don't know, I like Nunu. And he's cheap. He was only 450 IP, so it's whatever.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, no, I'm just really focusing. Like I wanted to see, cause like I start working full time in like September, so I want to see how far I can get through platinum before like all my time goes away. And yeah, I just really wanted to talk to someone and know exactly what to focus on in platinum. So it seems like I really like that trick you told me, where it's like let them auto me and then let the wave come to me. Like I'm just gonna do that.
Yeah.
And,
and that's really useful against like ranged matchups. Like I said, like I'm not sure how well. I'd assume Jax is pretty bad against ranged matchups.
Yeah, so I don't know. To be honest with you, like most people whine about ranged matchups, but for me, those are like the easiest because all I do is I just focus on farming, And yeah, like you said, I don't care if I fall like 40 CS behind, as long as I was there to get the XP, and then I just max Q, and then like, because I played only Jax so much, I like, I
You
can,
know when when they're in lethal or like when you can kill 'em.
exactly. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I wish it was like a, there was like a, and that was like another thing I want to talk about too, is like, there's not really like an exact formula where I'm like, oh, because of these 10 details I know, like because of my item and his item, and he has 4 seconds in this window, and their junk, like, oh, I can go in with 100% certainty. It's sort of like an all at once feeling where I'm like, all right, I need to go in right now. You know what I mean? Like, is it
Yeah.
the same for you, or is it like a calculated endeavor? Like, for me,
Um.
it's just a feeling.
Kind of off and on. Kind of depends. Usually, I like to assess the situation because, like I said, you don't have to you don't have to take risky fights. For me, I only take it fights that I know I have an advantage in. So sometimes, if I just know I can win the fight, then I just go in on it. But a lot of time I'll assess it. I'll just look at like pots, see how much health they have, what abilities they have on cooldown, what summoners they have, like where's the enemy jungler at right now, stuff like that, and decide to go in based on that.
I see.
And it sounds like a lot to consider, but honestly, once you get in the habit of checking for the enemy jungler, or like warding and watching, like checking your wards and stuff like that, and once you get into the habit of checking their potions, seeing how many potions they have left, and whether or not you have an advantage, it kind of just becomes second nature, honestly.
Yeah. That was something that I started like noticing, like even as like back when I was gold 5, like one of the big things for me was like, okay, before I go hop on them with my Q, where is the jungler? Like, is my mid laner winning or losing? If this fight extends for 10 seconds, can their mid laner come here? And it was like this humongous like big deal to like think about all that. But yeah, I know what you mean. Like,
Yeah.
but like, of course, if I feel like it's I don't know if it's second nature. For me, it's very disciplined still. I have to like, because I just get too excited. I'm just like, all right, I can kill them right here, and then I'm like, fuck. Then the Rek'Sai comes out of the river, and I'm like, all right. So like, it's one of those things.
Yeah, a good way to get yourself like thinking about all those scenarios is just assume worst case scenario at all times. And this helps me out with like when I'm getting camped or when the jungler is like lane ganking and stuff like that. When you don't have vision, assume worst case scenario, but also like if you don't know if the enemy has ult up or not, or if you don't know if they have flash, then assume they do if you decide to go in. And once again, this will just help us with taking disadvantageous fights when we don't need to.
I see. Yeah, for me, it sounds stupid, but like, I have a second monitor. I just have like a post-it note with like a checklist. Like, literally, is the jungle there? Do they have flash?
Yo, that is actually like really smart.
Yeah. It sounds stupid, but like, dude, the thing is, it's like a game, right? So you should just play it to have fun. But like, for me, it's not fun if I don't feel like
I feel like if you're not doing well, it's not very fun.
Yeah, no, like if I don't feel like I'm improving at the game, it's like that's like the fun part for me. Like, ARAM is really boring for me because it's like we're wasting time here. Like,
yes, oh my god, yes, that is me. That is literally me. Everyone's like, why do you have so many ranked games played? I'm like, I literally do not play normals because there's nothing to gain out of them.
Exactly. That's why I was gonna stop playing League at like level 20 because I was like, dude, like, what's the point? You know, like, I didn't find it fun. But then ranked was like more fun for me because like it feels like I'm gaining or losing something after every game. So,
yeah.
Because like, if I play normal right now, I'm just gonna go like 0-17 on Singe. Because it's like, well, like, it's not fun to like be all serious and safe like when I can just run it down repeatedly.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah, it's like over an hour already, so I don't know, but like, I just want, thanks for your help. I just needed like the reassurance from someone else to know like what I should be focusing on, because like I said, I feel like there's so many. I feel like maybe you could like speak of your own experience really fast, but like I feel like I'm going into such subtleties of the game that like they feel like they feel so subtle that like, would I really even notice this certain situation again ever? You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, oh, if I had just
Yeah.
reacted.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That happens a lot, to be honest.
Yeah, yeah, because I have my plan, right? My plan is I'm gonna shove top for 2 waves. I'm gonna meet up with my team mid, and then I'm gonna fight. And then guess what happens?
Someone gets caught.
I shove 1 wave, my Evelyn goes in, balls deep, and I rewatch the replay, and I'm like, if I had just not tunneled on clearing the 2nd wave, if I had just been with the Evelyn when she goes balls deep, I would have killed everyone with her. We would have got Baron and ended the game. But because I was tunneled on my plan of pushing 2 waves instead of 1, I get there late, and now the fight's over. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Like, I don't know if like those are things that I should be focusing on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like,
or it's like whatever. Like.
Don't
you know?
haunt yourself over it. I would just like with the Evelyn thing specifically, you could just ping your teammates back because like you could say that your teammates getting caught isn't your fault, but if you ping them back majority of the time, they'll go back. But like I said, that's a majority of the time. So sometimes like you can't even control their actions. There's nothing you can do. Sometimes you get laners that go 0 and 10. There's absolutely nothing you can do. So I don't know, like there's still sometimes there's situations like that you can learn from, but other times it's just like this was an unlucky game. So don't feel like you're really hard pressed to learn about some of that stuff because like sometimes there's literally nothing you can do. Don't use that as an excuse to not win games, but at the same time, like understand that you shouldn't always hold everything against yourself. Because there's some things you just can't stop from happening, and that's why like it's insane to see challengers have like a 98% win rate up to like D1. And it's like, yeah, they're challenger, like they're really good. Obviously, they're gonna do really good, but it's amazing because like even challenger players like getting up to D1, they usually have around like 70 or 80% win rates because there are some games that are just like out of their control, or like sometimes they'll make a mistake or something, but there's still games there that are just completely out of your control, and like no matter what you do, you'll lose. But at the same time, it's such like it happens. Like the percentage of your games, if it was like 1% of your games, that's still 99% of your games that you can impact and that you can win, like if you play correctly. So
would like a better player, like, would they have been there with that Evelyn? Like, would they have been like so experienced that they know ahead of time that this dude is gonna have a tendency, like they're just gonna, or not really? You know what I mean? Like,
that's what I do. If I ever see my team grouping, I always stop what I'm doing and just go to group with them. And that's something you can do that like in jungle as well. Like if you're doing a camp and you see your teammates getting ready to fight or something, like stop the camp and go help them. And that's just so like if they do make a mistake, you're there to like reduce its repercussion or whatever. Whereas if you stayed top, like sure you got CS, but now instead of a 4v5 mid lane, now it's a 3v5, and the rest of your team just gets dominated. Whereas if you're there, like sure she gets caught, but at least you can salvage the situation. So usually whenever my team's clumped up, first of all, I always throw down the pings. I always spam ping, fall back. But if they don't fall back, I usually just book it to mid, get there as fast as possible, and then be in a position where if they team fight, you know, I can salvage it somehow.
Got it. And out of curiosity, like, let's say like a diamond player smurfing in Plat, and then like a challenger player smurfing in Plat, like, what win rates do you like if they're solo queuing? Because like I feel like in duo queue it's way easier. Like if I'm duo queue with a jungler, it's like he can just camp my lane non-stop and like we can win just us two. But like let's say like these two types of players are solo queue Plat, like so I can look after like 50, 100 games and like compare the win rates. Like what win rates do you think like these like higher like obviously higher elo players.
I can't tell you exactly what they would be, but keep in mind that challenger players, like I said, can win. Like they can have like 70 or 80% win rates all the way up to Diamond 1. So that's why I said it's important that you don't use like oh, there's nothing I could have done as an excuse to like just ignore your mistakes or to like just ignore like what happened in that game. So for a challenger player, I'd probably say it's 70 through 90 depending on the challenger player. And for a diamond player, maybe like 60 through 80.
I see. So, cause like what I noticed is, and then yeah, what I noticed is like, for me, like, I'll like hit like this crazy win streak, and I'll hit like 9 like in my climb to platinum. Like, I was like gold 1, and then I fell from a 9-game win streak to like gold 2 0 LP. And because I was so used to experiencing like loss streaks, it didn't tilt me. So I was like, whatever. And like the next day, I got back to G1 and then passed the promos. So like, are those players like even in those really hard games, like are they are they just like finding ways to win even despite like that crazy loss streak, or are they like prone to it as well, I guess?
Yeah. Like even despite those loss streaks, they usually find ways to win, and usually they don't even have loss streaks. Like they might have two losses in a row, but usually it doesn't exceed that. And I don't know that like there's so many little things to talk about. I think it's honestly better for me to go over a game because then I can like help you out with specific scenarios. But I'm kind of in your same situation like right now. Like I was D4 earlier at like 80 LP like a week ago or like 3 days ago actually. And I was in the top 70 Rivens in NA, and then I just like hard dropped. I just went on this really bad loss streak, and then after I went on the loss streak, I went on a really big win streak.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what happens to me. It's like,
yeah, but something I figured out along the way was that there was a really big mistake I was making when I was getting camped. And this happens to me a lot because of my name. When I was getting camped by the enemy jungler,
yeah,
I got really greedy. Like sometimes if they wanted to tower dive me, I would just sit under tower and I'd be like, you know what, I can outplay these guys. Like there's something I can do here. But whereas like the better play, I watched I watched Yasuo do this in one of his videos. He was getting ganked by the jungler. Instead of like sitting under tower and trying to keep the wave from pushing into his tower, he just backed up in between both of his towers and waited for the mid laner to show mid to tell him that like the jungler is more than likely not top lane right now.
I see.
So he wasn't afraid to give up that CS. Whereas if it was me, I would have gone for the CS, and then when I got tower dove, I would have looked for an outplay.
Yeah,
so
usually that makes sense.
There's always stuff you can learn. So like I said, like don't use win rates and stuff like that as an excuse to just give up on games.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. Thanks for all your help. I know we're already going over, so I don't want to.
Yeah.
I'll yeah. If I find a game, because what I'm gonna do now, like now that we've had this, like for the next like, I don't know, like let's say 50 games, I'm just gonna do like what you said, like just focus literally on farming, and like you know, like don't do anything ridiculously aggressive, and like lose a lane at like level 3 or something. And yeah, and if I find a game where I feel like it's like, oh man, I'm so hard stuck, I don't think that feeling is gonna happen for another couple hundred games, but like if I find a game like that, then I'll definitely let you know. But
all right, man. What were you saying?
No, I was gonna say yeah. Thanks for the lesson.
Yeah, no problem, dude. If you have any questions or anything, I'll be on League, so you can just ask me like any question you have if you want on League. Other than that, it'd be awesome if you could rate me on League coaching whenever you said you put it for 7, right?
Yeah, 7 o'clock. Yeah, so at like 8 or something, it'll probably show up.
Yeah, like 7:20, 7:30, 8 o'clock, something like that. So
yeah, for sure.
That'd be awesome if you could do that.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah.
But yeah, huh?
I was just gonna ask like, cause do you have a YouTube or like a stream that you do like that you want me to follow or anything like that?
Yeah, like don't feel obligated to follow me. I have a YouTube. It's Phoenix. Yeah, I'll send it to you. don't
Yeah.
feel obligated to follow me just because I coach you. Like, just follow me if you like the content or whatever. But
Okay, for sure.
on my channel, I have a lot of montages. And I've been improving a lot on my montages. Like, I've gotten a lot better at editing, so I'm doing a lot of montages now and doing that. But also, I'm posting my coaching lessons. Like, that's why I asked you if I could record, so I could post this
Cool.
on my YouTube, and stuff like that. So that might help you if you want to check that out sometime.
Okay, cool.
And I have a Twitch as well, but I don't stream that often.
Okay.
I usually stream when I don't want to climb, and right now, like, I want to get to like D3 or D2 before the season ends, so I'm just focused on climbing for now. But that's my Twitch link, or my YouTube link, sorry. And you can probably just look up like Phoenix LOL or something like that. It'll probably come up with videos. And my YouTube is this, or my Twitch. Sorry, what's that? Yeah, man, it was nice talking to you. Do you have any last questions or anything like that?
Yeah, no, I think that's all of it. It was just mostly I just wanted to like I have like my own list of things to work on, but then I wanted to just get a second opinion of like what you thought is most important to work on. Cause like like you said earlier, and even I know like there's just a bazillion things that like could be improved, but I feel like that's just exhausting, you know? Like you play a 40-minute game and then now you have to spend like hour and a half rewatching this and like half speed, you know?
Yeah.
Like it's just too much.
Yeah, I personally don't rewatch my games. Like when I make a mistake, usually I notice right off the bat like what the mistake was, so I try to improve on that the next game. That isn't to say you shouldn't rewatch your games. I think that's a really good habit, but like you're not obligated to. Like something I do a lot is if I die, I just look back at what happened and I'm like, why did I die? What kind of mistake did I make there? And 90% of the time when you die, there's some kind of mistake, unless you're bringing like 3 or 4 people down with you. And even then, sometimes there's a better play to be made. And then also, like if I'm behind an XP, or if I TP bot and don't get a kill, I just think about that and I'm just like, why didn't I get a kill? Was this a good opportunity to TP? Or like, why am I behind in XP? Did I have some bad roams, etc.? So just like I don't look back on my games. I just think about what happens and kind of look for key moments of when I make mistakes and try and review that, see what I did wrong.
Yeah, usually I just rewatch the game if if I feel like macro wise I like was in the wrong place at the wrong time, because for me, I have a hard time like clicking back and forth between I'm splitting in bottom lane, my team's doing this. Like I usually am just like watching myself instead of like, you know, like watching my team more. So it's like one of those things. But I try to do that too. Like the laning phase is usually obvious. Like if I die, it's because I did a trade that was bad. Then I stayed under tower because I'm greedy, and then I get dead. Usually, like it's really obvious, or like or like, oh, I didn't ward and I like forgot to check for a gank, and then it's like pretty.
Yeah.
I'm sure you know you probably like made all the mistakes I've made, and then the next 100 mistakes I'm gonna make in platinum.
Yeah, I've been in that scenario, just like, I don't know, tilting and making a lot of mistakes that just shouldn't happen at all. And
yeah. Right now I'm just chilling because I'm like Plat 5, but if I ever hit like Plat 2 and I'm like really close to Diamond, I'm gonna have to like mute all and like not at all, because it's just like right now I'm just chilling. But when I was Gold 1, I was not chill. Like every game I took like so seriously because I was like really close.
Yeah, it's the same with me. Like even in Diamond, I'm like 99% of the time I'm a really chill person. Like I don't mind if I lose a lot because there's stuff to learn, but sometimes I just go off because I get really pissed off from some of the stuff my teammates says, and that's just something that's a result of being stuck in whatever elo or just wanting to climb. Like it's easy to say that you shouldn't be talking to your teammates, but sometimes and it's not a good thing to flame, but sometimes it just happens just because you're really invested in what you're doing.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, but I think that's all my questions. Thanks again.
Yeah, no problem, man. I'll talk to you later.
All right, bye.